Hey guys, welcome to episode 29 of the Empowered Hearts podcast. I wanted to share what I'm going to be doing. So, I have got group hypnosis coming up in October, October 8th. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is going to be an hour to an hour and a half group setting over Zoom. It's currently only $11.11. I might change the price, but yeah, it's for anxiety release. So
Beautiful.
I've had some sessions with people, shorter sessions where we're doing anxiety release and they're having profound, it's like one session, they're like, I'm good. And so I'm like, we can
Mm,
group setting.
mhm.
So it starts October 8th. So if this is something you're interested in, I will link it below and I would love if you guys would come and join me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So today we're going to be talking about money and power.
Money. Yeah.
So first of all, sorry this episode is going out late. I have been really sick. So we are recording this Tuesday, and we're going to put it out today. So normally it gets like pushed out this morning, but I just was so unwell yesterday, and Crystal and my schedule we couldn't align it the past couple days, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just sick. I wonder if
Yeah.
anybody else is. So Crystal's whole house is sick.
Yeah. Everyone, including the pets, they're just like going through it over here.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Pets and people.
Yeah.
Pets and
So
people, which
anybody else is sick, you're not alone.
you're not alone. We're sending you lots of love and healing energy.
Yes. So
Mm.
the reason of the topic of this podcast is really to understand how we give money our power. And this came to me through a personal revelation, and I'll share it so that people have relatability. So I'm an only child, and growing up, as you guys probably know, but if you don't know, I grew up in a very toxic household. My mother was drunk all the time. My father was like there, but not really there. They were always fighting. And I had my grandparents, just one set. And we were pretty well off. And my grandparents would, like during Christmas, we would have a Christmas tree, and obviously we'd have a Christmas tree, but under the Christmas tree, I'm kid you not, like the presents would be at like, there's like the tree and then the stand, or
Yeah.
like stand, whatever. The gifts would be all the way up, like touching the pine needles, and then even further.
Yeah.
Pine, is it pine?
Yeah.
See, pine.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
There's
Or-
lots of
yeah.
different ones.
So it was like over, and it was like so many gifts. And that sounds like wonderful, but the key here is that I was living in toxicity and then getting all these gifts during Christmas, during my birthday. It's like everybody would always give to me. And that taught me that that's how love is exchanged, right?
Mm.
Because there was no stability and there was no actual proper love going on in the home, but there was love shown through gifts,
Yeah.
through money. I could always rely on them to write me a check. I could always rely on them to get a lot of gifts. And so that became my way of relating to people. And, this might sound like, ooh, that sounds great, but like it's not great. It has taught me, that money equals love, and
Mhm.
and it has caused me a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So what I realized is that I have given my power away to money. So if somebody like waves money at me, I'm like, oh yes, we gotta do that thing.
Mhm.
We gotta take that job. We better listen to that person. We better not speak up against that person because they're paying you well. And it's
Mhm.
caused me a lot of problems
Like
regarding,
self abandonment.
yeah, like
Mhm.
self-abandonment, self-worth, like self-respect. It's like, oh, well, I'm getting paid well, I better do what because that's the answer. So that,
Codependency.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it just created like a really odd scenario for me. And I'm grateful that I like woke up to this realization, and I will not allow money to cloud my judgment again.
What was the pivotal moment recently? Because I remember us having a conversation, but maybe you can share it, of how you realized this was happening.
Oh my gosh. Well, what was it? Um, it must have been, I think it's been all my inner child healing that I'm doing,
Yeah.
all of this healing work and addressing my inner child who's scared, who never felt validated, who feels sad and abandoned. And I think I just realized that maybe there was something and I can't think of it right now, but so I've gotten entangled with my old boss
Mhm.
in I co-signed a Harley Davidson for him because he offered me a raise at one point, and this is
Mhm.
so shameful to say, but I've made peace with it.
Yeah.
So it's not shameful anymore, but it was shameful. He offered me a raise at one point last year for $2.50. And like I really want to like this is insane. For $2.50 extra an hour, he's like, if
Mhm.
you co-sign my bike, I'll give you this raise. And I jumped on it like white on rice. I was like, yes, sure, no problem. And threw out my self-respect, my, you know, future self of like, is this a good idea? Is this a reliable person? Is this all the things I didn't think about that. All I thought about was the $2.50. I need the money now.
Yeah.
And in in hindsight, like, did I really need the money? I don't like how much just $2.50 extra give you at the end of a paycheck after taxes are taken off.
Probably not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and now
Yeah.
he
Hmm.
uh take the bike out of he won't take my name out of the bike and I have to fight for it. And I just like was reflecting. I was like, I did this
Hmm.
$2.50 and it's just like yes, that's shameful, but really it's like wow. Okay, like
Yeah.
that's where I was. That's where like how much I gave my power to money
Yeah.
and like I need to reflect on this.
Yeah. That is beautiful that you saw it that way, because it's interesting. A lot of people would say yes to that because it's like dangling a carrot, you know?
It's not even a
Oh,
carrot.
it's like making it sound so good though. It's not, you are doing an amazing job and you deserve a raise.
No.
Because a lot of people, when they get a raise, it's like 50 cents or $1 an hour. It's like not a substantial raise. So 250 sounded really good at the time.
Yeah, it did.
But there was like a condition that came with it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That you just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. There's that condition that comes with it. So it's like we hear what we want to hear, we feel what we want to feel. And it's like, oh, 250 an hour, that's amazing.
And I guess it is amazing. And I guess in the moment, um,
It
I
probably
did,
felt good.
yeah, like I didn't, well, I
Yeah.
like I realized it was stupid. I did realize that, but I was like, oh, whatever. Like I'm going to be working here for a while, not realizing that earlier this
Yep.
year that this incident was going to happen. And so it just,
Mhm.
it brought me to the realization that yes, we need money to live. I get it. We need money to live. And it's crazy that people, including myself, don't have enough self-respect or self-worth to say no to some devil dangling a carrot in your face, being like, oh, like sell your soul to do this. And I know it's not like that, but it really is. That's what it was at the moment. It was
What it
like,
feels like.
yeah, like, and
Yeah.
at a larger scale, this is what people do in Hollywood. It's like, oh, just do this one thing. And it's like you're giving your power away to the
Mhm.
money.
I
I
think it's because there's like, it's kind of been ingrained in us that there's like this fear, because if we don't have it or we don't make enough, we can't survive.
yeah.
It's been like ingrained. And the more that we evolve, the more that we want more money. it's like our life evolves,
Mhm.
and we always want more for our life. So we believe that in order to have more for our life, we need to work harder to make more money, or we need to prove ourselves more. We need to be better
Mhm.
to like create that bigger flow of abundance into our life. And so then we kind of just throw our self-respect, sometimes, not always, but like our moral values sometimes get dampened when we're offered more.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, I really think at the base of this, like I sold myself in a sense,
Mm,
you know, eh,
mhm,
for regardless if it was $2.50 an hour or $100 more an hour, it's like somebody was able to ask me to do something I didn't want to do
mm,
or more money. And it's like, I think really what we have to get clear on is what this made me realize is on a bigger scale, what are anybody
mhm,
listening, me, everyone, what are we doing
mhm.
for money? Are
Yeah.
you happy? And I know it is not this simple. I know there's so many nuances to this. Like life
Mhm,
costs money, there's
mhm,
different circumstances, food, there's inflation, all of the things. And also, can we, because if enough people said no,
yeah.
this wouldn't work. This like
Yeah.
fear mongering of like bribing people and all the things. And I know that this one conversation is not going to make this go away, but
Mhm.
it's just for myself and anybody who's listening, it's important. Like, how can you just have more self-respect around what you're doing?
Yeah.
Really is what it's at, where it's at. And like,
And I think too, like, I know, like you said, this conversation may not change the big ripple, but it definitely allows people to see things in a different light. What have we said yes to that doesn't actually feel good?
yeah,
Like, what do we continue to wake up every day to do to generate money that is like sucking our life force?
yep,
Like, when are we going to decide enough is enough and we something needs a change here?
yeah,
And like praying that that day comes,
right.
and
And I mean,
praying that you have the faith to take that step to change it.
like, imagine everybody just chase their dreams.
Yeah, can you imagine what
Like
this world
this,
would be like?
I understand, like we need, you know, people to deliver food and we need all of the like tedious, annoying jobs.
But you
Like,
know what, Morgan? I honestly feel like everyone has a certain role to play on this earth, and
yeah,
some people love that.
yes,
Some people love serving. Some people love, like, if you're in the right job, you wake up and you love it,
right. Yeah,
right? Like, and it feels good to you.
yep,
So I feel like sometimes it's just like a redirection,
yeah,
and to know that you're not stuck, because
right.
everyone does play a role on this earth, and every role that is played on this earth is just as important as any other role,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, it brings to mind like bribery and just
Hmm.
so many, like I'm being like extra dramatic about this, but this is how I think and I see things so deeply. And I just feel like we are all doing things we don't love all the time
Hmm.
or something else. And like I mean, it doesn't always have to be this terrible thing, but like, has this ever happened to you? Like,
Well, I was literally just thinking about this because I, right out of high school, took hairdressing. I decided I wanted to be a hairdresser, and I was really good at it. So good at it. I graduated that class with 98%, and
wow.
I loved it in the time. And then I got pregnant with Caden. And then I had Caden, and I was no longer working at the salon, I was working at home. And I can fully say this now when I look back. I would do hair for people out of feeling like I needed to, like out of guilt. It was like, it was coming from a place of service, but it wasn't what I actually wanted to do anymore. And it continued to just happen. And then my job became a payback for people. Well, this person did this for us, so now you're going to cut this person's hair for free. And
Oh,
I was like used in that role to do it. And
yeah.
I started to resent it so much to the point where I was like, I quit. I am not doing this anymore. This is not who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I still do Caden and Bella's hair. But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I was doing it for free.
Wow.
So,
I really think like we've talked about this before, but there's got to be an energetic exchange, right?
yeah.
But so there's an energetic exchange, meaning like money for a service.
Yeah.
But if you hate or despise or are doing the service against your self-respect,
Mhm.
like let's just think about that for a moment. Like that's like why is this even a thing?
It's more detrimental to you energetically and your health, but I don't know why it is a thing. I think a piece of it is like looking for that acceptance
Mhm.
within someone. It's like going over and above for somebody else, maybe to feel appreciated, to feel honored, to feel valued. You know, like in your position, when you said yes to the money, was it more than just that? Or was it like on a bigger scale? Was it like, well, if I say yes to him, he's going to respect me in a different way? Or I don't know. For me,
Oh, no, but I can see where you're going with this.
yeah,
Like that wasn't the case in that scenario, but I can definitely see how we do things.
mhm,
I've definitely like said yes to things when I have wanted to say no,
yeah,
and I don't do that anymore. But yeah, it's like it really is about, oh, like, will I be, I think it's really at the basis of all of it. It's like, will I be loved if I do this? And
yeah,
whether people are aware of this or not, that at its core is what it is,
yep.
go ahead. It's people pleasing.
Well, I was going to say, because when it comes to money and people allow money to take power over them, they will almost always say yes. So the person on the other side knows that too.
Hmm.
So it's like kind of a control thing as well,
Yes.
you know? But I think it really comes down to, am I going to abandon myself and the way
Yes.
that my self respect, the way that I feel, what I know to be true here for that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really on this. I'm gonna speak from experience to try to offer like tangible resources. I'm really on this experience of living a life true to my heart.
Mhm.
And it's complicated for me because because of this, I've never, because I'm so used to living in a dumpster fire. So, and that being my norm, that like being in trauma and being in stress and being in pain has been my normal. So following my heart is bizarre, but
Yeah.
I will do my best to like give tangible resources to this as I continue on this journey. But what I can say so far is that when you do something that's aligned with your heart for money, it is such an easy thing. You
Yeah.
want to show up. Like, I have a client today. I am not feeling good, but guess what? Like I can't wait. Like it's
Mhm.
not like, oh, I have
Mhm.
a client today. It's like I have a client today, I'm not feeling well, and I'm so excited to serve. If this was like another job, there's no way.
You'd be calling in sick.
I'd be calling in sick.
I'm gonna take the rest of the week off.
100%, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, because my heart is leading, I'm like, oh, of course I can help somebody. Of course I can serve. But it's not out of lack. It's not like, oh, I'm going to serve and then I'm going to get this like attention and they're going to love me and I'm going to be better, because that can be an energetic exchange as well.
Can
Like
be.
we can do that. Like
Mhm.
when we people please
Mhm.
or forgive, it's really for validation. But
Mhm.
this is clean. It's like, I'm so excited to serve this client because this is exciting.
From a place of wholeness, because this is what I meant to do.
Yeah.
It's not that I have to wake up and do this. It's that I wake up and I want to do this. There is a huge difference between the two.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I woke up this morning, and I put my sick pets and daughter and ahead of myself and did energy healing sessions because I want to.
Right.
I want to do this. I want to help. I want to serve. And not again, like not from a place of lack that they're more important than I am, but this is what I do. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Part of me. Part of me. And there is an energetic exchange because the cats are both in here and they know.
Yeah.
They love me. They love me.
Let's talk about moving from lack, because this is super important, and this will get you into trouble if you eventually, like maybe not initially, but eventually it will. So moving from lack, what does that mean? So when you are moving from lack, you are essentially doing things, performing a task, giving attention to somebody, doing something from a place of needing whatever you're getting from that exchange is to make you feel better.
Filling you from the outside.
Fill you up. Yeah. So if you're feeling like not enough on the inside, and then you go help somebody do something and they're like, oh, good job. And then that makes you feel good.
Yep.
That is moving from a place of lack. Now, I understand helping people and doing things does make somebody feel good, but it shouldn't be the only way that you are receiving, like you're filling up from the inside.
Yep.
Filling up is your job. It needs to come from you, not from an outside source, not from people pleasing, not from, oh, if I make this person dinner, they're going to love me more, and therefore I'm loved and lovable and worthy.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Or you do something nice for someone and you expect something in return.
Right.
You know, like that's the other piece too, right? And also I think the other part that I just wanted to shine light on when it comes to doing something from a place of lack is also, is it coming from a place of fear? If I don't do this for this person, is it going to upset them? If I don't say yes to this, you know, will they still love and appreciate me?
Right.
So it's like also moving from that. Well, I mean, fear and lack, they kind of are close, right? Yeah. So
that's a really good point. Yeah. And I mean, it all, and like, I feel like attachment styles, not that I'm like any pro on this at all, but it's just from moving from my own, learning from my own attachment style. Like attachment styles have a play in this. So if you're secure in yourself, you know, you 9 times out of 10, like won't do things to fill yourself up. Like you might, if somebody asks you to do something you don't want to do it, you could say yes, but not because, oh, they'll love me more, but because they need a favor and you know that it'll help them.
Yeah.
But if it's moving from like an anxious attachment style where you're like, oh my God, like if I do this, I'm going to feel better. And then I'm worthy. And then this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, then you like become overbearing on the person, you know, then, but because what that energy says, it's like, now I expect something back. Like, and if you do something for somebody, is this making sense? Or am I like,
no, it is. It's making
like,
sense.
you do something for somebody and then that person doesn't give you enough exchange back, then then there's a problem.
Yeah. And you almost feel resentful.
Yeah.
Because like it's not balanced.
Yeah.
But I think in the beginning, it's because you're looking for more than what is actually there.
Right.
You're looking for more from them than you're giving. Like it's off balance.
Yep.
I think this is a really good time to bring in as well, learning how to say no.
Right.
You know, like from an embodied place.
Yep.
Learning when a no is actually a no and you're not saying yes for any other reason except for that it feels aligned to say yes.
Right.
You know, like there is a sense of compromise sometimes, like you said. Sometimes maybe you don't want to help that person out, but like maybe your friend is moving and you don't feel like helping them, but you're like, I'm going to help them because you
They need-
know, exactly.
yeah,
But that would just be, there's a little bit of a level of compromise there. But being able to say no when it's not aligned, when the $2.50 raise does not equal the having your name on a lease or whatever it is. Certain things like learning how to say no can be so challenging for someone who has always been the yes person.
yeah. And absolutely. Because
Mhm.
it's drawing boundaries, and
Yeah.
drawing boundaries when you've always been the yes person can feel like extremely uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like you are denying, you're being mean in some sense. And it's
Yeah.
actually the complete opposite,
Mhm.
you know. And again, if you've never drawn boundaries and then all of a sudden you do, and the people on the who are receiving you have a problem with that, like that's not a you problem.
And they may have a problem in the beginning because they're so used to saying yes. So they've been someone who's like, will constantly go to you because they know they can rely on you in a certain way. So just in the beginning, it can rub them the wrong way, but that doesn't mean that your no isn't honored,
Right.
right? Because then we start worrying more about how the other person's going to receive it. And then that's where self abandonment comes in,
Yeah.
which is not okay ever.
The self abandonment piece is so important, and
Mhm.
I realized more and more as time goes on, like where I self abandon, you
Yeah.
know, how I have self abandoned,
Yeah.
and my relationship with myself, and that part of me gets mended more and more every day. But it's just crazy to like, we don't even like, I half the time I didn't even realize, I was like, oh my God, like doing that was self abandonment.
Mhm.
That, and
Mhm.
I wonder, like it's kind of like it's dirty. It's a dirty question to ask somebody. Like, here's a $2.50 raise. I know you need money, so like why don't you just self-abandon yourself? It's not that big of a deal. And like it's just like it's
Yeah.
like fuck off. Like honestly, like fuck off.
But
Like
now you can see it because you've gotten so good at
yeah,
meeting your needs and building that trust within yourself and that power within yourself and like believing in yourself and your self-worth, that when you look back on it now and you're like, what in the actual F was I even thinking?
yeah, like it's really, it's about like, do we take the easy road or do we take the self-respect road?
The
Because
high road, yeah.
the self-respect road might not be as easy, but I am going to say that it is, that I cannot wait to come back in a couple months after more of this business has flourished, and I can say, let me tell you guys that self-respect is the way. But I can already tell you that because I've already had experiences, but I want like tangible proof with money on it and be like, look, like, see, you don't have to disrespect yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we can just say the naturopathic office is a perfect example, that I walked in with full confidence in myself and was received as somebody, um, what am I trying to say? Like I was seen whole. I
Mhm.
wasn't seen as like, oh, well, you don't have like a document saying you're all this and whatever, like you didn't go to school. Nobody questioned me because because I had self-respect. Because I
Yep.
had self-respect, I had confidence. I walked in there, presented myself, and I was taken at face value. If you don't respect yourself, that's what's gonna be mirrored to you. You're gonna
Yeah.
these assholes being like, here's $2.50 to like leave all of your self-respect behind. And it'll be like, yay, let's do it.
Mhm.
I'm
Look at how far you've come.
getting on such a tangent.
Look at how far you've come from self abandonment to self worth.
Amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I would rather go into debt than lose myself. I would rather go in, not, I think I would
Yeah.
110% rather go into debt or need to work at Tim Hortons for the evening and have my dignity than be like, oh, this prick, I'm really getting on it, but like this prick is like, here's $2.50 to like lose your self-respect till 2028, because that's
Yeah.
when the thing gets fixed. I'm gonna fix it myself. But anyways, that's my personal tangent. But it's like, can we hold our self-respect and self-worth over the easy route?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we think the first route is easier, but it's actually not.
Yes, that's such a good point.
I would say the route that looks easier, or you take the high road. You
Yeah.
know, the high road may come with more lesson, but it's because it is evolving you,
Yes.
right? It's not allowing you to continue to fall into those same loops and patterns of,
Yeah.
you know, right?
And energetically, that will then send a message out to the universe saying, like, I have self-respect.
Yeah.
Go in, and it will send you on a way of being able to have a different life where you don't have to give up your self-respect for money. Like, money will flow to you because you've decided that it will, that
Yep.
you're not going to compromise your own views, right?
Yep, exactly.
Self. So yeah, I really think this is such a powerful topic. And yeah, it's just yeah.
Well, people still give money too much power at the end of the day. And it's hard not to when you've been raised to believe that it kind of hangs over your head and dictates everything.
It's crazy. It is crazy because
Mm-hmm.
because we need it to
Mm-hmm.
survive, the line gets very blurred, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm sending compassion to anybody who's experiencing it, but
Yeah.
yeah, like, it makes it tough.
Well, and sometimes you feel stuck. Like you get stuck in that, like when you're trying so hard to get out of debt, but all you see is debt and all you feel is debt. It's like, is there ever going to be light at the end of the tunnel? But there is always the possibility of change.
Yep. I, yeah. I really just, I can't wait to share all of my stories of, like, how when I gained self-respect, how my bank account grew.
Mhm.
More so,
Yeah.
it'll be slow in the beginning because I feel like it's kind of, I want to say testing, but I don't really know if it is kind of, it's like, it's not really a test, but it's like, are you committed? Are you really committed?
I heard this quote by Neville Goddard, and he said, "The universe isn't testing you, it's training you.
Hmm.
It's training your persistence in your vision, in your dream. Like, are you in it?
Are
Do you
you,
believe?"
yeah,
Yeah. It's training you to continue to believe in your vision.
yeah,
And I'm like, ooh, that's so good. That's so good. Because it's so true. It allows you to continue to choose it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
me too.
Do you have anything else to share about this?
No, but I will ask you, how does it feel for you today to have an empowered heart?
I would say to use my voice.
Mm.
Really, I would love if, you know what, I don't know about you, but I would love if we could talk about, I'm sure you'll be fine with this, to talk about how our voices are suppressed, how women are
Yep.
suppressed.
Yep.
And I really would love to get into a whole, because all of this is all intertwined, but
Yep.
to use my voice.
Yeah. Amen. I love that.
What about you?
Um, mm. I'm really walking through unwavering belief in myself,
Wow.
even when my outer reality feels sometimes like it's not working. It allows me to continue to choose that belief, and it's not easy, but I will only choose that. So it's been kind of like shutting out, not shutting out, but not giving my power to external things and feeling, the consistent belief within. So that's what I've been working on.
I love that. Crystal. Good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Well, I love you so much and I will
I
see you.
love you. Hey,
Bye.
bye.